Hey, everybody, and welcome back to our roundtable. My golly, it seems like we haven't done this in years. We haven't had any kind of severe weather around in our area for quite some time, and luckily, I still have the boys that I can still. They actually answered the phone when I called them. So, just a brief introduction here because it has been quite some time. I'm going to see if I can possibly make this. See if I can make this. I just seen where I can go full screen with this. I'm going to see if I can. I'd like to go full screen. Well, I'll figure that out at another time. Full screen. Hey. There we go. So we do have a setup coming up on Friday and Saturday for that potential of maybe seeing a couple stronger storms in the area. So this is actually going to be a very good precursor to what we are hoping to be doing as we head into the springtime. We've got so many projects going on. And Josh, why don't you start this off and why don't you tell everybody you've been a busy man here over the last few months?
Been very good. Yeah. So just, I guess, informal introduction, Josh. Me and Matt are fourth of Storm Chasers. So I've just been busy dealing with kids. We just had our second one, 3 months old. So we've been kind of slow the game this season, trying to get out there, but we're going to change that this weekend and hopefully get some stuff coming through. And we've got some really good pro projects. Matt's going to be bringing those up and talk about that. He's the scientific genius that I am not. And so we're looking to use this as a preliminary little step up at the end of the 25 season to get ready for the 26 season. And really see if we can get some good footage, some good data, and really get out there and see what all we can capture.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Derek, now you mentioned Derek is, of course, he's also a freelance storm chaser, and he's also part of our Nader Boys group. He's representing them tonight. I know Isaac and Levy, they have ball games, they have work schedules, very, very busy, fully understand. But Derek even mentioned that during this off season we're going to be having here over the next couple 3 months, that there's something that you have a little bit of interest in maybe doing this winter.
Yes, I want to switch up and go plant some snow. I find winter really fun for me. I like the colder weather. I'm not a big fan of the heat. But yeah, I think it'd be kind of exciting to be out, get some different footage. See, what it's like at 3:30 in the morning when the wind's blowing 60 miles an hour and you can't see. As Josh said, you never know what you might see out there. So do something different. I think it'll help me out, especially for this upcoming season. Learn new cameras, test out some different equipment. Just have fun with it.
Absolutely, and I mean that's the thing. We have actually a pretty good chip on our shoulder right now, guys, because I know we haven't been together really a whole long time. We got out last spring. Kind of got maybe a little bit of a late start to it last spring. We added a couple new storm chasers, and anytime you can go out and practice utilizing your camera, making sure that your stream is in good quality, all of this, any chance you can get out there, do that. Absolutely. And actually, you believe it or not, the information going out driving the roads during winter weather, that actually helps a lot of people. They want to know what Highway 7, Highway 49, Interstate 44 down in Springfield, Highway 60. They want to know what those roads are like because they're going to have to get out and commute on them in a few hours or head to work the next morning. So that's still, it'd be kind of fun for you. You can test everything out as well as maybe bring some good information back to the live stream. So, and now we're down to Frankenstein wannabe producer, engineer. Now we're going to talk to Matt Jones, 417 Chaser. He's kind of the lead down there, and of course you hear my dog barking, and it's not lightning or thundering, so my lightning detector is failing me tonight. But yeah, me and Matt had the privilege to be working on a few projects here over the last couple months. Our most recent one, we went to Sedalia Fairgrounds, the State Fairgrounds, and we were asked to come down and give a presentation to the Tri-State Amateur Radio conference that was held there. That went very, very well. Matt brought a storm chase vehicle inside. We had a probe. People came up and talked to us about. I think we were maybe one of the only tables that constantly had people at our table asking us questions during the entire event. So, great way to get our name out there and kind of show everybody. We're talking about the probes. I'm going to let Matt talk a little bit about what he's been working on, but the whole purpose of these probes and this data collection with Midwest Meso project is to get data to the National Weather Service, get it to the professionals, because with all of the lack of funding, cutbacks, they don't have money for these research projects. They want this data. So we are doing this as kind of a show of support for the National Weather Service so that we can gather up this data. They can use it however they want. I want that data myself. I think it's incredible to be able to put a probe out in front of whether it's a tornadic thunderstorm, just a good old fashioned summertime thunderstorm. I want to know what the barometric pressure is when that storm hit, the dew point, the temperature, how fast that temperature can fall ahead of a gust front. All of this is important information, and Matt has done a feat of science to get that data rolling every 2 seconds with his probe. So, Matt, why don't you tell us a little bit what you've done here over the last couple of months and what you're working on?
I call them a chaser deployable probes. We've got the second one's done, working on the third one. I'm trying to get 5 big ones that can be basically one in each chase vehicle. So when we're in a storm event, we can get to the ideal position on a storm, get it out ahead of time, and then record that data as the storm comes to it during the storm and then after. Because like you said, we're taking readings every 2 seconds. And then we've got kind of a network that we're working on of different probes that aren't necessarily going to be deployed. They're not going to necessarily be in a vehicle. We're working on a network of people that have these at their house already. So, hey, a storm's coming in this area, we're going to kick these probes on. And then as soon as they get a data set, they're going to be able to send it to us. We can send it right off to the Weather Service. Or, we've got quite a few different partnerships we're working on now through multiple agencies. And so we're starting to get some feedback from them. And I've started on a couple of different types of sensors that just different things. So the big probes will do barometric pressure, temperature, humidity, dew point, and wind direction. Plus they have GPS on board. But then there's going to be some smaller ones that are only going to do dew point. That we may be able to. They're not quite as cost prohibitive. They're a little bit smaller, a little easier to make, so we can make a lot more of them and then be able to get those out as well. So that's Josh and myself. That's really what we're doing. We're really pushing the science side, trying to get as much of this technology put together and get it out there.
So one cool thing that Matt has came up with is because he built the first preliminary probe. And, the most probes that you see out there, you're building for the biggest and most damaging storms. So it's got to be heavy, it's got to be kind of big, bulky. And then he has this idea of he said deployable probes. the skill is making these things is small enough that we're making a mounting system to be able to attach them to like a T-post or like signs and stuff, easily off the road. So we can get out a quick bolt system, attach it to something and drive off. So we're able to carry multiple of them, and with it not being heavy and bulky, it's a lot easier for us to jump out and deploy it by ourselves because we're one-man band driving around out there. So it's a really cool idea that Matt had. It's making them smaller and easier and more functional and usable because they don't have to be just for big games and stores like we're talking about. We can check out winter storms, there's rainstorms coming through, we leave houses, all kinds of stuff just because the size of it has made them. So really cool feature that he's got going on.
So, I mean, I guess the big question is, with all of your technological experience, Matt, have you been able to come up with the sensor that can possibly heat up a DiGiorno pizza in the car, in the chase car?
Oh, yeah, I just take the hot plate out of my work truck.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, and of course, we just got joined with Isaac Wilson with Nader Boys.
I'm not sure if my audio's working, but I know it's not synced up with my video. So just let you know that it's a ripped up camera, but it's working.
It looked like and sound like. It looked like and sounded like I'm watching a film dubbed in Japanese. Yeah, some kind of movie release of some sort. But glad to have Isaac.
Before I left, and then just walked right past it. So.
Gotcha. So I think we're gonna move on a little bit here. It's really kind of funny to hear and see what's going on down there. Isaac is of course front runner to Nader Boys, actually part that Derek, as well as Isaac's brother Levy. Of course, he is tied up with kids' athletic games tonight, but glad to have him join us. So we have a lot of projects going. One of the main reasons why we're getting together tonight is for that potential for a couple stronger storms in both west central and southwest Missouri, as a very potent cold front for this time of year is going to be sweeping across the Midwest, and it's going to be bringing, of course, I honestly think that our fall begins Saturday night, because this thing is a powerhouse. We're seeing the atmosphere beginning to change. During this time of year, we have the jet stream that is normally up in Canada, very, very weak. It's becoming stronger, and it slides to the south. That's what gives us our winter. We're starting to see that, and we're also starting to see some of these larger storm systems start to affect us here in the Midwest. So I do believe that once we get this front moved through, I think we're in fall, fellas. I think an 80-degree day is going to be hard to come by as we go forward after this weekend. And I know a lot of people, I know a lot of wives and girlfriends are looking forward to it because, they're needing that pumpkin spice here over the next week. And they're going to have that opportunity when we get lows back down into the 40s. Again, as we go into even Sunday night lows. Right now, I'm projecting 46 degrees for west central Missouri. So it's time to get the jackets out. We're ready to rock and roll. So, yes, exactly. So, yes. Where is that? I mean, we're getting close to Halloween, hay rides, chili. Oh man, I missed a good bowl of chili. So I think we're going to be able to have that time to be able to do that here in the next few weeks. So let's take a look. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to let everybody at home take a look at what we're looking at as well. And I'll go ahead and let everybody jump over to the storm prediction page with me. And then I will go ahead and share my screen with the fellas. And so the Storm Prediction Center has most of west central Missouri under a marginal risk to see a severe thunderstorm as we go into It's getting later and later with each model run, but tomorrow evening into Saturday morning. And then the threats with this, I'm still seeing for late Friday night into Saturday in the early morning hours being mainly a wind event. There is some potential for hail, but our biggest threat is going to be wind. I believe in excess of 60 miles per hour is possible in west central Missouri as the line of storms come through. Now, very inconsistent model runs, and we'll get to those here in just a second. They are all across the board with timing, intensity, the whole 9 yards. But let's go into day 3. This is going to be Saturday. And on Saturday, now we have again our southern tier counties in west central Missouri. That's going to include Benton, St. Clair, Vernon County, of course, Hickory, and then down toward the Springfield area along that I-44 corridor is a slight risk. Level 2 out of 5 for the potential of seeing some severe thunderstorms in that neck of the woods, more down by Josh and Matt. And there's a couple model runs out there right now, guys, that is showing Springfield area getting some very robust storms Saturday afternoon. And then I also take a look at a medium range model, and it's showing it's already blown past Sedalia by Springfield by tomorrow or Saturday afternoon. So again, a lot of inconsistencies on both timing and intensity, but it's definitely we need to stay weather aware. Whenever we get in situations like this, we want to make sure that everybody stays weather aware, that there is that potential out there. Now, we are in that second half of severe storm season that and again I mentioned how that jet stream is moving south and getting stronger. We're starting to see a little bit of that change of directions of wind speeds at different elevations. And of course, wind shear is a big component of severe weather. So we're kind of in that second half of severe storm season that actually goes all the way into right around Thanksgiving time. And then things begin to kind of take on more of a late fall, early winter type of scenario. We don't see as much severe weather. So let's take one thing I want to do is I want to take a look at what is causing all of this. So again, right now we have this. This is a big low pressure system, guys. That low pressure system is sitting right here in Iowa, Minnesota, and of course, whenever you see this big dip right here, for those of you at home, that is the center of the low pressure system. Now we're looking at a 500 millibar chart. Now what this is taking a snapshot of what's going on 18,000 feet above our heads. This is where the jet stream lies, the steering winds of all of these storm systems that comes across the United States. Now, this is a brand new storm. I have not seen this storm. For those of you that know me, that follow Subby's Weather Talk, I'm a big LRC proponent, meaning that we have been in the same cycle over the last 10 months, and we are in that changing cycle. Started October 6th, and it will go until we start to see that cycle repeat itself. And this is a brand new storm. We will likely see a storm like this again many more times over the next 10 months. And as strong as the low pressure system as what this is showing, we've got some very strong winds that's going to be moving across Kansas and into southwest Missouri. This is, let me jump back over here to the time. Isaac is holding up a Cheez-It, a white cheddar Cheez-It, matter of fact. He's got snacks, a true storm chaser right there. That is a true storm chaser. White cheddar, man. Everybody's got the white cheddar. So,
those are hot and spicy.
Yeah. So let's go. Let's jump back here. So let's take a look at, say, tomorrow morning. This is 10 a.m. The storm system is just starting to get going. And as we go into tomorrow night, this is about 10 o'clock. And notice that the storm system, this is the, you notice there's a dip right here. You see how all those contours begin. That is the storm system really starting to take shape. And then as we go into the overnight hours, it really begins to take the shape of that big trough that is going to be moving across Missouri. Now, this is actually, let's back up to 7 o'clock on Saturday night. There's 7 o'clock. This is when we start to see things really, I think, start to pick up. Not so much Friday night. I think there'll be thunderstorms, a line of storms. They're going to be borderline severe. But I really think if there's going to be any stronger severe storms, maybe the possibility of a spin up tornado, maybe some large hail, it's going to be coming in on Saturday and likely for our friends down to the south in Matt and Josh's area. So this is 7. This is 10 o'clock on the 18th, which is Saturday night, 10 o'clock. And now we start to see this line of very strong winds at 18,000 feet above our heads. We've got southwest winds that are going to be howling at 15,000 feet above our heads. But where the cold front is right now, the cold front is going to be draped here. You have wind coming out of the southwest, where my drawing is horrid. That's the wind direction. So the wind direction and the front are parallel with each other. We don't see that twisting of the atmosphere that's needed for mesocyclones, for hail producers, for tornadoes. It is mainly a very strong wind setup. But then look what happens once we go into a little bit later on Saturday night and we start to see that shifting of the winds and it getting stronger. Now we actually have winds coming from the northwest with the cold front being perpendicular to those winds. And that is when I really think down here in southwest Missouri, down around Branson, Joplin, Springfield area, I think if there is going to be an area of activity we really need to watch, it's going to be down here in southwest Missouri. Now, this is the GFS model. It is painting a little bit different scenario as what the convective allowed models are showing, such as the ARRR, the high resolution refresh model. They're showing a whole different story. They're showing this line of storms really getting on it as we go into Saturday morning in west central Missouri. So we need the rain. That's what it boils down to. We don't need the severe weather. We need the rain. Taking a look at the latest drought monitor, we have most of Missouri sitting in this, we're in this moderate to severe drought. We have extreme drought in parts of Greene County, Springfield, down into south central Missouri. Man, we got to get some rain out of this. Right now in west central Missouri, total accumulation of rain between half to an inch of a quarter of rain between Friday night and Saturday at 2 p.m. So we'll take it, but we could sure use a little bit more than that. Taking a look at some of these models and what we can expect as far as timing, and you guys will definitely notice the differences in the models and the timing and the intensity, what I was talking about just a little bit ago. So we are looking at the rapid refresh. This is a short-term model. It is kind of my go-to once we get 18 to 48 hours out. This is it does utilize a little bit of AI. It does have some current soundings that it encompasses into it. And it has been, for me, it has been spot on. I utilize this model to make my in-house model that I use at Radford Media Group. We have our own in-house model that was built by myself that we use at Subby's Weather Talk. That's where I come up with our forecasted highs, lows, rain chances, and all that good stuff here in West Central Missouri. This is the biggest component of our in-house model is the rapid refresh. Now we are going to, this is going to be updating here in about an hour. So we're going off of about 5-hour old data. But what I want to show you guys is as we go into Saturday morning, we start to see this line of storms begin to develop. Okay, this is 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. And notice there are some pretty strong thunderstorms in a line from Kansas City, Belton, all the way down to Parson City, Kansas. And of course, as we go just a couple hours after that, notice that line really begins to intensify down in the Springfield, Monette, Nixa area. And there are some cells out ahead of it, meaning that we could be, this model is showing there could be some supercellular activity that is going out ahead of this line of storms down in southwest Missouri. And then, of course, it moves on out. We get another little trailing line of non-severe thunderstorms as we go in later on into the afternoon on Saturday. Now, look at the difference as we jump over to the NAM. And the NAM is projecting, we go about that same time frame. We are 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, and now we are at 4 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Very, very spotty thunderstorms. Now we start to see a little bit of a line begin to develop down in Springfield, southwest Missouri. And this is going to be about 3 o'clock on Saturday. Notice how it doesn't bring those robust thunderstorms in a line from Kansas City down to Paola, Kansas, down to Parsons. This actually really begins to take shape in southwest Missouri on Saturday afternoon around 3 o'clock. So a big difference just between those two models. And then you got your secondary line goes through. The last model we'll take a look at is the GFS. Now that's what we were watching on for the 18,000 feet above our head, the 500 millibar model that we were looking at a little bit ago. This is what radar could look like according to the GFS model. And we are actually going to go, this is 1 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Let me kind of roll this out just a little bit for you guys. We have a few thunderstorms in the area, 1 o'clock on Saturday. And look at this. It doesn't show the initiation of these thunderstorms until it's south of Springfield, right around the Branson, West Plains, Mountain Home area at 4 o'clock on Saturday. So, and really not much before that either. Just a line of showers and thunder showers, and then it begins to get with it once we get to 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday south of Springfield. So, we have 3 different models, 3 different projections of timing and intensity, and that's another reason why we had talked about that we really need to stay weather aware, because even though we're 48 hours away from this thing, we're not exactly sure on what's going to happen. So I would definitely stay weather aware over the next couple days. Taking a look at a couple of the components that are needed for severe thunderstorms. One of the ones that I look at is for that rotation, that twisting, that wind shear, and it sums it up in the helicity index. And as I'm looking at 7 a.m. on Saturday morning, as we go to 10, 11, 12, 1 p.m., most of the helicity, most of the turning, the churning action of the atmosphere is really pushed off to the east, according to the GFS. So by the time we get that line of thunderstorm down in southwest Missouri, they might be dealing, according to the GFS, with a straight line event, maybe not so much of a tornado threat. And then, of course, as we go into Saturday afternoon, it pretty much dissipates and then picks back up again down in the southeast. Another key component is going to be the dew points. You got to have moisture in order for thunderstorms to develop. And we have very modest dew points, meaning that they are enough for thunderstorm development, but they're not that real juicy air that we need for that really robust, strong to severe thunderstorm. But we do see an influx of moisture as we go into Saturday. This is Saturday morning at 4 a.m. You notice how those dew points are really starting to go up at 4 a.m. in the morning. That's southwest breeze that's going to be pumping in that Gulf moisture up into our area. We're going to have wind speeds on the surface, 15 to gust up to 35 on Saturday morning. It's going to be bringing some of that moisture up. But the big question is that moisture going to come up in time to interact with the atmosphere to get us those thunderstorms. But there are going to be some pockets down here in southwest Missouri, 64, 65 degrees, more than ample to get thunderstorm formation. We could see a few isolated severe storms down in southwest Missouri, according to the GFS. So, all in all, guys, we're really kind of, I'm kind of up in the air as a forecaster of, what we're really supposed to think about these. Let me jump over here real quick, get everybody back here. I'm having a hard time trying to decipher exactly what we have going on with the models, with the data, the soundings all over the place. And there's one common characteristic with all the models is that most of West Central Missouri and Southwest Missouri have that potential for a strong straight line wind event. The tornado potential, I think, is going to be greatest down in southwest Missouri, south central Missouri, and then off into eastern Arkansas. But I'm eager. I know you guys go through these models just as much as I do. I would like to know your all thought on what you're seeing. Let's start with Matt.
Um, yeah, I'm kind of in agreement on that. The best known is the unknown right now. Really, every model is different. It's all over the place. I think it's really going to just depend on how all the ingredients come together. I think that'll make the biggest difference whether it turns into a wind bag or if we really elevate the tornado risk. I don't see it being like a early spring tornado risk. I mean, if it's able to develop the discrete supercells and then hold them without them, kind of QLCS them out like they do down here so often, I think that will be the make or break for the tornadic threat for South Central Missouri is because I mean it's going to have. I mean, so a lot of the models right now are still showing a decent amount of like low level shear, and then a lot of the models in the post noon time for Saturday to the east of Springfield is really where I see the most consistent, as far as having shear, having a higher cape value with not much inhibition on that cape. So, then it's just going to be depending on what environment it's blowing into, but it's plenty rich. I mean, it's insanely humid right now here. There's lots of moisture in the air. But yeah, that's I think it's going to be another one of those. It's going to be, we're just going to have to wait and see. I do see it being like a couple of rounds off everything I've seen. Probably about tomorrow, like you said, about 1 o'clock or so for this area, and then kind of a recycle mid-morning, and then that's where I think we have the bigger threat is when you get that kind of wetting everything down in the morning, and then you get your daytime heating to start evaporating it, and then you're coming into a prime environment. I think that's down here is the biggest risk area time wise.
Yeah, and you actually touched on a very important component too. Is we've seen just about on all the models a couple distinct line of storms. It's how these storms interact with the outflow boundaries that are left over from the earlier convection, the earlier showers, because that plays a very integral part. Something that, yeah, I know a lot of meteorologists when they're faced with that, say they're live on 4, 5, and 9 or KY3 doesn't make any difference. It's a wait and see type of scenario. We have to wait and see how these storms interact with the atmosphere after 9 hours ago having showers and thunderstorms in the area. How are they going to react on the outflow boundary, or are they going to get choked off by that rain cooled air? So again, it's kind of a waiting game. I'm 100% behind. Josh, why don't you let me know what you're thinking on this? I'm sure it's probably pretty similar to Matt's. And then why don't you maybe tell us if you guys at 417 Chasers have if you guys have come up with a plan? Are you guys going to be out in these storms this weekend, and what you have going on?
Yeah, I mean, me and Matt have been looking at every update on the models when they come through, and one moment we think it's going to be a big line, the next moment we think we're going to get some isolated supercells, and then the next moment we think it's changing again back. So it's going to be one of those deals that we're going to have storms. What form of storms? I think we're just going to have to wait till we get there. Like this is going to be one of those things you just have to pay attention to it. And, when it turns, it turns. So, I mean, like Matt says, humidity's going to be rising. It's only going to be pumped up even more. So there's going to be plenty of energy. I mean, if we get more convection or we get some more heat in between these storms, we're going to get some real break through the clouds and get some good heat going. I mean, it's going to all play a big role into it. So I think we'll just be playing the guessing game until early Saturday. Yeah, I mean, we haven't set a formal where we're going just yet, but I know that we've already discussed probably going out. Might be kind of a better starting point at some point, but it just depends on the first line when it comes through. I mean, that's going to kind of set us off to where we're going to be moving to and timelines. So we don't really have a good plan, but we have a plan to make a plan.
So one thing, I think what's very important to get out to, we actually have, with all the streams that we have going live right now, we have a lot of people out there. We appreciate you guys jumping on. It's been a while since we've done one of these roundtables. We're a little bit rusty. I'm hitting the wrong buttons every time or two, but it's been good to be able to get the guys together. I've seen a lot of social media posts because we're all anxious for severe storms, right? I mean, it's been a while. Yes, I mean, it's been a while since we've seen this, and I want to caution the viewers on what you're seeing on social media. Just this morning, I get to the office at pretty early in the morning, around 4 a.m., and even at 4 a.m. this morning, they were blowing up social media on X and Instagram about a tornado outbreak in South Central Missouri and Arkansas, and listen, I'm not saying that we're the best out there. Okay, there's a lot of good storm chasers, meteorologists out there, but we're not in it for the dime. Okay, we're not trying to get 10,000 people watching our stream. We're doing it for the love. Oh yeah, yeah. We're doing it for the love of the science and for our passion in the weather. So, don't read into. I just showed you guys 3 different models with 3 completely different outcomes.
Completely different.
Yeah, totally different. So, anybody that is telling you there's a strong likelihood of a tornado outbreak in southern Missouri, take it with a grain of salt. Okay, I mean they're looking at the same information that we went over tonight. That's very very important. But one thing I definitely want to stress is don't get that what I call modelitis when you start to see the models and an hour later all of a sudden it's completely changed again. So you really that's really hard with teachers during the winter time because on Subby's Weather Talk, I made this acronym up about 2 years ago, and it's TSP, stands for Teacher Snow Day Probability. All the teachers, they always want to know, hey, Subby, what is our TSP for next week? And the models are showing 10 foot of snow for west central Missouri, and then all of a sudden, we warm up, we're 45 degrees and a light drizzle, and they are so mad at me, guys. It is, I tell them not to get modelitis, but Derek. So I'll have you speak for Nader Boys since Isaac is down there, doing a Japanese film festival. Why don't you? Do you have any plans going out? I know you haven't had too much time with the kiddo to look over a lot of the models, but do you guys have any kind of plans to maybe get together with 417 or do any spotting or chasing?
I'm not sure. I know me and Isaac kind of talked about it. I can speak for Isaac. I kind of pulled from Josh. It's kind of a waiting game right now. You don't want to jump the ball and drive all the way down there just to watch it rain. So I think it's going to be one of those last minute type deals. I think it's going to be probably Isaac's going to either call Saturday morning or late tomorrow night. Like, hey, be ready this time. We're going to go. But right now, everything's up in the air. So.
Okay.
I'll be
Yep.
testing everything tomorrow, stream-wise and everything for the car. And I'll have that ready to go Saturday morning in case you need to look it down there kind of deal.
I think it'd be a great opportunity. I would love to be able to get some footage of maybe a couple drone deployments. I think Team Havoc had mentioned to me that is our other storm chaser group that is not able to be with us tonight. He has got the first, I guess number 2 setup that Matt had made. I brought it up when me and Matt got together last weekend. Andy was very excited. I showed him all the bells and whistles. We hooked it up next to my card shop. People were driving by us, kind of looking, kind of giving me the stink eye a little bit, just like what's going on over there? They're looking up at the clouds. It's blue sky. They're thinking we're setting a probe up for a tornado, but he's so fired up over it. And I think he had mentioned he was going to try maybe to get out as well. So it'd be kind of interesting to get some footage, maybe kind of a practice run, and see what kind of data that we can garner from this. I think the last one was September 13th here in West Central Missouri when we got a wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. So it's been a while. So I think this kind of helped knock the dust off of us and be able to show people what we can do. So and again, guys, I really appreciate you guys coming on tonight. And again, Matt, you mentioned the probes. We're gonna have probes for the whole team. And guys, this is not cheap. Okay, Matt and the team, the money comes out of our pockets. We're not sponsored. We don't to get 10,000 viewers that's sending us super chats. This is all self-funded, and that's one of the big reasons why I want to throw this up tonight. And this is So on the stream right now for the viewers at home is a list of our storm chasers and their Venmo, PayPal account. You know, whether or not it's a dollar, $2, 50 cents, it doesn't matter. I mean, you guys know we have a lot of snacks that are needed for the storm chasers. Everything costs money: fuel, snacks, drinks, coffee, you name it. So if you guys are so inclined, the viewers, we have several viewers. Oh, let's see, I got this on 7 platforms. We have about 193 people watching right now. So, if you guys are inclined, I'll leave this up here. Maybe take your phone out, take a screenshot of it right now. And if you guys want to drop a couple bucks to one of the storm chasers, I know they will gladly appreciate it. Again, this is something that it comes out of our pocket and could tremendously help out our endeavor here at Midwest Meso. So again, what I would like to do, I would like to leave off with just kind of a short recap, real quick. I'm going to go ahead and share the page with both the chasers and everybody at home. And we are. I want to remind everybody that we do have a marginal risk for Friday night into Saturday morning for all of West Central Missouri and Eastern Kansas. Once we move, and again, this is not so much of the tornado threat. Tornado threat for Friday night into Saturday is less than 2% in all the areas. However, the wind threat is where we really need to be paying attention for some strong straight line winds, 60 miles per hour or greater in this area. And then we jump over to day 3, which is going to be Saturday. And again, we have that marginal risk for our basically from Benton County, St. Clair County, which is Osceola, Bates County, Butler, Vernon County, Nevada, and point to the southeast is going to be under an marginal risk. And again, main threat is going to be strong straight line winds. And then we get down into far southwest Missouri, south central Missouri, and that I believe is where we're going to see a little bit of an uptick of the tornado potential. So again, anybody in these areas that we have discussed, please stay weather aware as we go overnight on Friday. Weather radios crucial for severe weather, especially coming in overnight. A weather radio will wake you up in the middle of the night to tell you of what is going on in your neck of the woods. Okay, so and again, this is something that we have to tell our neighbors, tell our friends, let them know what we got going on for Friday and Saturday. Let this be kind of a training session. We kind of got out of that habit. We were top notch last spring with all the activity we had here in Southwest and West Central Missouri. But it's been a while. So again, make sure you got fresh batteries in your weather radio. Make sure you have a flashlight handy. Make sure, very important, have multiple ways to get your warnings, watches, and advisories. I know anything here in West Central Missouri, I'm going to be going live through the duration, whether it's two in the morning or 8 in the morning on Saturday. I'm going to be watching these storms for our area, and I know Matt and Josh, their team down at 417, they're going to be watching it. I think he does a great job. He's kind of our mix guy. He'll be out on the field. He'll be there at his house, at the weather center, at his own house, and going live and keeping everybody up to date. We're all in it for the same reason. We're in it to help spread life-saving information. We have a little fun while we do it, of course, and we live out our passions either behind the computer screens or out on the road chasing what most people actually run away from. So, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. It's been a long time since we've been able to get together. Anybody have any closing statements they want to make before we end this stream?
I think we're all excited to get out and test out our new streaming equipment and make sure it all works, get ready for spring. I know we've got a lot of stuff trying to integrate with all the different platforms, weather-wise, and getting everything to actually mesh up and talk together. So just a good test run, get that fired off, and I think we're all excited to test it and see what happens.
Awesome, Matt.
Yeah, that's my add-on too. Is that anytime there's a weather event, if you download the WeatherWise app, both mine and Josh's streams are embedded into the app there. So, and all you gotta do is just click on our logo, and it'll take you directly to our stream. Right now, that's about the easiest way to check out our stream because we stream directly to that app, and you can use that Android, iOS, or in a web browser. So.
Yes, that is a great point. That was something that we need to bring up here to everybody. Guys, I'm going to show everybody at home. I'm not going to. You guys know kind of what's going on. Weatherwise, this is the app that Matt was talking about. Weatherwise is free, guys. This is free. You get so much information and bells and whistles with the free Weatherwise app. And as Matt said, you can do it right in your web browser. If you don't want to download an app, you can do it right in your web browser. And what's so awesome is that if these guys are out storm chasing, you're going to be able to go wherever they're at. Say they're in Bolivar, and they're going to be able to click on that and go right to their live stream right from the radar app. So it's something that we worked really hard on there in the early to late summer after storm season. I'm just ecstatic. We're starting off with 417 chasers, and then eventually, as we show them what we can do here at Midwest Meso, incorporate Team Havoc, Nader Boys, as well as Jeff Smith, who unfortunately cannot be here. He is a independent storm chaser up in Northeast Kansas. He's still part of our team. Definitely want to wish him and his family well. They've been suffering some health issues here over the last 6 months. So our thoughts and prayers goes out to you, Jeff, and your family. You're still part of our team, man. You'll never not be a part of our team. So in case Jeff is watching, but we're going to be able to track all of our chasers right here on WeatherWise. So again, if you want to look at it from a web browser, you can go to weatherwise.app in your web browser, and you can also download the WeatherWise app, I believe, for Apple and Android. Is that right, Matt?
Yeah, Apple, Android, and Linux. So pretty much any computer system you can get it now.
Excellent. So again, that is very important piece of information. It updates your warnings, your watches, your advisories, and you have a state-of-the-art weather app with radar right there on your desktop or on your phone. So I'm glad you mentioned that. Derek, Isaac, anything else you want to throw out there with us?
I mean, I got nothing. I mean, if we go, I'll be excited. If not, we'll definitely be watching Matt and Josh for sure. Definitely being in the background, getting them any kind of assistance they may need. Talking to them. For sure. And whatnot. But yeah, I just think, kind of like they said, I think we're just all excited. We kind of got something popped up here, It's in our blood. It's an itch. It's kind of like, somebody that plays baseball or sports. So, when it's go time, you're ready to go. So, yeah, I think we'll have fun when we can go. So, it's exciting.
Excellent. Isaac?
Yeah, really, the only thing I would say is it's exciting to have a chance to get out and, like 417 saying, just to test things. Whether there's a big storm or not, just to test things. Because a lot of times that's the stress for us. If we want to get information out, but if our stuff doesn't work, we can't get it out. So I think that's going to be one of the main goals this weekend, I feel like, is just be able to test and kind of not just on our own stuff, but each other's stuff, and see how we can communicate and all that. Kind of communication is kind of a pain for us sometimes. We all kind of struggle, especially when we're out chasing by ourselves kind of deal. So anytime we get out there and do that, it just benefits us and everyone else that's watching.
Yes, and I definitely agree there. And if anybody sees any of us out, 417 Chasers, Nader Boys, myself, Derek, or Jeff up there in Northeast Kansas, stop by. because we got some really cool things. Derek, I still got to get you some. Maybe next time you come down, I can get some in your hands. But we got some Midwest Meso project is probably backwards bumper stickers, and we also have a bunch of business cards. We handed out a bunch of these when me and Matt was at the Tri-State Amateur Radio Conference Saturday. But we got some good looking business cards that has everybody's logo and their YouTube pages on the back of the card. Stop in. I keep these in my car all the time. I hand them out whenever I can. I handed out about 30 business cards and 2 bumper stickers at actually, I was invited by the IWT, the Integrated Warning Team, down in Springfield on Tuesday. Got to walk hand in hand with some of the biggest names in meteorology down in Springfield. Handed out a few business cards. They're excited what we got going on here, and we definitely want to invite you guys to check out all of our streams on YouTube, Facebook, X, TikTok, Instagram. You can find links to everybody's platform going to subbiesweathertalk.com. Click on our Chasers tab, and you'll have all the boys' YouTube pages as well as their logos and who they are. So you can jump right over there. If you don't remember anything I said over the last 5 minutes, go to Subby's Weather Talk, go to our Chasers, and you can get all of their information. And don't forget, please, if you can, if you find it in your heart, help these guys out financially. We do all this as side gigs, none of it full time. And I'm sure everybody would appreciate a dollar or two to help out in the storm chasing endeavor. So, guys, it's been great. We've been on for about let's see here, about an hour. So everybody has kids to get in bed and dinner to be had. So appreciate you guys joining me tonight. I appreciate all the viewers out there watching this. We will have this available for you guys to watch on our YouTube pages. Just in case you got in through the middle of it or at the tail end, you can go back and watch it in its entirety. And again, remember, stay weather aware for Friday night into Saturday in all of West Central Missouri, Southwest Missouri. And again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to 417 Subby's Weather Talk, Nader Boys. Follow our streams, shoot us a message. We'll be more than happy to answer any of the questions you guys might have. So I guess until next time, fellas, we'll call that a wrap.
We'll see how it rolls Saturday.
All right, guys. Take care and see you all.